Hey guys! So today I'm going to go over the movement, the row, which is a pulling movement. So the goal with your row is to squeeze your shoulder blades together and really activate your rhomboid muscles here, as well as depression through the shoulders. So a lot of times what's happening is when we do these pulling exercises, we're either having our shoulders shrug up, so we're really overutilizing those upper traps, or we're not even really squeezing the shoulder blades. So instead we're just pulling here and I'm not getting any motion through those shoulder blades. So I'm just gonna show you my back first of kind of yes and a no. So you can do this with a single arm. So I'm gonna show you how to do this with a little loop band, and then we'll go over some other equipment. But really what I'm focusing on is when I row, I'm squeezing that shoulder blade together and pulling the shoulders down. Okay, so a lot of times what people are doing is they row either as they shrug, or they're not even pulling the shoulder back, so they're not getting a lot of activation through that muscle there. So a few things to go over for this setup. First is, as always, thinking nice broad chest, and we want to keep those shoulders back in their sockets. So as I sit up, stand up tall to do my row, I'm going to pull my shoulders down away from my ears, which is depression, and then push that chest up nice and tall. And even before I pull, my back muscles are nice and active. So as I row, what I really want to think about is pulling my elbows back behind me to squeeze them together. So what happens a lot of times is either they row too high, or they're just thinking of pulling versus actually activating that back muscle. So think of your scapula, that shoulder blade is pulling towards the spine, okay? So chest is tall, shoulders are back. Pull with the elbows as I squeeze behind my back. The other common fault, especially when we're doing dumbbells, so bent over row, whatever that is a lot of times people like to curl with their wrists. So again, they're not getting any movement through their back. They're just curling and doing a forearm curl. So when I set myself up in any row position, especially when you're doing bent over rows or like a TRX row, that starting position is super critical. So as I'm in my bent over position, this is my starting position. This is not. So right now, none of my back muscles are active. My shoulder is in the front of its socket. I want to pull it to the back of its socket, depress, and activate those posterior shoulder muscles. Then from here, I encourage rowing to the bottom of the ribs, because if you cue to the armpits, most of the times people either shrug and they're not going to get that elbow up high. So pull with those elbows and try to, almost like you're trying to squeeze them together, okay? So there's lots of different pulling exercises, but the main focuses are shoulders are down, chest is tall, shoulder is in the back of its socket, and you're focusing on squeezing between the shoulder blades to try to pinch. So you're trying to get a lot of motion through the back and the posterior shoulder. So rowing is one of those amazing exercises for anybody with bad posture, has tight chest muscles, have rotator cuff injuries, or are going to get more injuries. And really what it helps us do is improve our posture and be able to control that shoulder. So our rotator cuff muscles, a lot of them are in the back, and that's what we really need to focus on. So if you have injuries in your shoulders and your neck, poor posture, doing pushing exercises like push-ups and planking and burpees, probably not the first thing you should focus on. So start strengthening your back, your posterior shoulders. That's gonna help you set up for long-term strength to do other upper body exercises, but it'll start to help fix your posture, and focusing on those few cues is gonna make it a lot better for long-term success.